Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Star Trek, of Random Trek. My brain is nowhere today. Maybe I've been boggled and I now lost my human side. I don't know. Maybe a species can help rephrase this. I am your slightly confoozled captain, Christopher Ingle, joined as always by my first officer, a man who is very good with the logic, Commander Brennan, the mystical Mar. Brennan, I'm a little confused.
Oh,
It's these darn emotions, right?
emotions, what are those?
Today we are taking a look at Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Episode 5, Season 2, Charades. This is
Mm,
kind of a fun one. This very easily could have been silly, as it has its silly moments. But what did you think going into this one?
I remember this episode.
Hmm.
I didn't remember all the details, but another one of these stuck to bring episodes.
Hmm.
But anytime we get time with Nurse Chapel, I'm happy.
Yeah, this episode definitely is it is Spock to Pring, but at its heart, it's Spock and Chapel.
Yes.
And I too, I enjoyed it very much. I remembered the overall plot, but I too couldn't remember all the details. This is 2 years ago. We saw this 2 years ago. Actually, the date we're recording this, almost exactly 2 years ago when this came out,
Oh, okay.
or a little more than two. But yeah, so it's been a while. But yeah, let's get into the details of this episode, then we'll talk it out. So the Enterprise is on its way to Vulcan to help Spock participate in a ritual as kind of a engagement dinner kind of thing with T'Pring's parents. This is
Oh,
traditional. This has to be done in Vulcan society, and it's got to be done right, or the marriage can be annulled, yada yada, or the marriage can never happen, and a lot of that. So they've got to get ready. But as the Enterprise is taking some time, they're doing a little bit of a slow trek there. They have downtime. They have downtime. Nurse Chapel is getting ready to interview with the Vulcan Science Academy for an archaeological medicine fellowship with the Vulcans. Spock is getting ready for a quick little mission to scan a moon of a species that have disappeared. The Krakowians. They disappeared. They're not sure why and when and how, but they want to learn a little more. So they're going to do a little flyby as they go. Um, so Spock and Chapel end up in the shuttle on the mission, and they discover a portal that was created by the Krakowians. But due to an accident, the shuttle gets sucked in and crashes. When they wake up, we see Chapel is fine. We see from Spock's perspective, he's looking up at Mbenga and he's looking up at Pike, and they're like, take a minute. It's okay. This is going to be just take a minute. When Spock sits up, we see that it's Spock, but Spock's Vulcan features are missing because the Kirkovians rebuilt him, but they only rebuilt his human side. All his Vulcan traits are gone. Not very helpful when they have to do this very important Vulcan dinner coming up. Almost reminds me a little bit of like a guess who's coming to dinner kind of thing. Or like, you got that big dinner with your girlfriend's parents, and now
yes.
everything goes
Yes.
wrong. Well, that's what this is about.
Indeed.
Um, yeah, yeah. So they get to the planet and they say, all right, we're going to delay the dinner. We're going to delay the dinner. You had a crash. That'll work. That'll work. Well, T'Pring's parents don't like him, or at least her mother doesn't like him. And she said, this is an insult. This is awful. You're gone for 5, 6 months at a time. No, we need to do something. So Amanda Grayson, whom I adore this version of Amanda Grayson. We'll get into her. She comes aboard the ship. Okay. And she meets with Spock and says, Spock, they've agreed to do the dinner here on the Enterprise. You just got to be ready. But Spock is already very emotional, and he ends up kind of yelling at his mother. And his mother just looks at him, and instead of yelling back or whatever, he's wearing this funny beanie hat. Take off the hat. And she discovers that what has happened. He is all human. So Amanda says, all right, there's no reversing this right now. We've got to go through with this dinner. Here's what we're going to do, Spock. I and your friends are going to teach you to do something that I never taught you to do when you were little, and that's embracing your human side. And so we go through this montage of them trying to teach Spock to be human, and in being human, to lie, to trick, to trick T'Pring's family into thinking that he's Vulcan, which is hilarious in of itself. Meanwhile, Chapel is trying to figure this out, how to reverse this problem, and they are able to contact the Kirkovians due to a calling card that was left behind, but the Kirkovians say, nope, everything was fixed. It's all done. There's no complaints. Goodbye. So Chapel's trying to figure this out, and it's not working. She actually has her interview with the Vulcans, and the Vulcans are so curt with her. They're like, well, you didn't memorize anything. You deviated too much, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, we'll get back to you. Which, as an actor, I know what we'll get back to you means. It's not a good thing.
Yes.
Anyway, so Spock gets into the ceremony. Pike is in on it. His mother is in on it. The only people not in on it is T'Pring. He did not want to tell T'Pring about the problems because Vulcans can't lie. So he didn't want to kind of mess with her. And so they have to go through this tea ceremony. This ceremony where basically your future in-law stands up and tells you everything they hate about you. Let me tell you, that's called Thanksgiving dinner in most families.
My house.
I've met your family. They're so nice.
Yes, we get along pretty well.
And then finally, Spock is supposed to mind meld with Amanda to experience a memory or emotion. Meanwhile, Chapel realizes she needs help. And she convinces Ortegas and Uhura, go with me on a shuttle. We're going to go back to that moon, and we're going to go into this portal, and we're going to talk to these Kirkovians and get them to help me fix this. They go in, they manage to make it in, and they survive. And they do talk to the Kirkovians, but the Kirkovians refuse to help her because she is a friend. What is your relationship to him? Friends don't get to make a complaint. What are you? And both Ortegas and Uhura look at her and go, you're still doing this? Just tell them what you know. Everyone on the ship knows that she loves Spock.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it, and she won't admit it. Finally, she has to kind of admit her feelings to the Kirkovians. Kirkovians give her the information. She makes it back to the ship. Gives Spock an injection of vitamins, before he could say his true feelings, thus giving him his Vulcan side back immediately. He finishes the ceremony and everything goes well. It's perfect. It's adequate. It's adequate.
Yes, I do believe those were her exact words.
Yes. Well, and she's like, now, she pulled what the Vulcan Science Institute pulled on Spock in the JJ verse, in the Kelvin universe. It is amazing. You were able to complete this despite your dysfunctions, your disabilities,
Yes.
in other words, I'm surprised you could do this with your human side. Well, Spock, his emotions are still there. And he basically tells her off and says, well, you know what? You were wrong, and pulls off the altered ears he has because a human did the entire ceremony to your satisfaction. It didn't go well.
Yep.
To T'Pring was not happy that Spock didn't tell her that they're missing, and she says, you know what? We need to take a break. I think we need time apart.
Hmm.
Okay. Spock goes back to his quarters. Chapel shows up, and they admit their feelings to each other in a very passionate kiss that ends the episode.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I love the premise. I do love the premise of this turning Spock human. It is an interesting, and we in Star Trek history have seen some pretty crazy things done to Spock.
Yes.
No brain. Let's send him through time. He falls in love with somebody. He's got to go to combat. I think I watched him do a river dance jig once. Spock is forced to do a lot of things. But giving Ethan Peck the opportunity to just go whole ham human on his version of what Spock would do, that was actually pretty good. What did you think of his human Spock performance?
That's it. I really thought that the opportunity to get to play a fully human character,
Hmm.
to reveal a side of Spock we haven't really seen, and also just the idea that he's about to tell Miss Chapel how he feels about her, but she, basically turns him back into a Vulcan.
Hmm.
But yet later they're still able to admit how they feel.
Yep.
It's interesting, but it's also got very Shakespearean farce feel to it.
Yeah.
Of all this running around pretending, things like that, which are a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I love that Jafring is annoyed with her mother in a very Vulcan way.
Hmm.
The way that daughters are, in, I guess, in any species.
Yeah.
So it is a fun episode. It is got some moments that are like, you know, pretty emotional.
Hmm.
And absolutely, I think that Jeff Bush, who plays Nurse Chapel, and Ethan Peck, who plays Spock, they both do a great job.
Yeah, it's really great, and we as the audience see it. We see that relationship building and building here, and I get it. Um, there was a moment I really loved during the training montage when Ortegas, Una, La'an, and Uhura are all standing there trying to teach human Spock how to speak. And they're all kind of mocking him. And he just asks them, do I really sound like that? Yeah, at all once. Yes. Uh-huh. Hmm. It's
And
really great.
I love the bit when La'an is talking to him, and he mentions, "I'm feeling attraction right now." And La'an's like,
And now I'm embarrassed.
I mean, Christina Chong's awfully cute, so I get it.
Yeah, it is funny. It is funny. And that's
Yeah.
after I will end you, Kirk. That
Oh,
whole
yes. Oh,
the
yes.
whole montage is great. Over uh although yeah, Kirk Sam Kirk is messy apparently.
Yes.
Is messy. It is a fun episode, but it is not the lightest episode because there are some serious
Yeah,
relationship repercussions here.
yeah,
It's really great, a lot of fun, um, and reinforces a lot of things we already knew. The Vulcan sense of smell is brought up multiple times, and that
yes.
apparently we humans have an odor Vulcans have a hard time dealing with. Okay,
Okay.
cool, love that. Um, just so much here that
I
is
love that Fring's dad is like he's very much a yes dear kind of guy.
yeah, he did a really good job. So Pike offers him Vulcan food that he had to modify a little bit because, they're not on Vulcan. Okay,
Yeah,
I get it. I get it. And he likes it. You can see he likes it, but every time he looks at his wife, no, 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 it's salty. It's not
yeah,
traditional, not. I
yeah,
expected him to look over. Can I get a doggy bag to go?
yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I
That
like his
that was
dad.
pretty funny.
I
That
like
was
the
pretty
dad,
funny.
and the mother is a jerk.
That's how it is.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's the nature and uh yeah. I liked it. I don't have any issues with this episode. However, um I'm not gonna give anything away for the new season. 2 new episodes have dropped, whatever. I am getting a little tired of the focus on Spock and Chapel. This is not the start of it. We've seen a little bit of it before.
Oh yeah,
I think they hit a little too hard on it, a little too much. You know, we know as a series they're not going to end up together.
yeah,
We know Spock and T'Pring are not going to end up together. Focusing so much on Spock and Chapel, it's just I'm like, okay, guys, come on. We know nothing's going to come of this. I'm a little bored with it.
yeah. I mean, it gives us a little bit of the backstory into the original series.
That's true. It does, but look, Strange New Worlds doesn't have a lot of faults to it, if
No,
any.
it doesn't.
This is something that I'm starting to see, and I with the new series, I went or the new season, I went, all right, I'm done with the Chapel Spock thing now. Can we move on? Can we move on now? Let's do new things. Let's move on, please. So I know I was a little biased watching this because this is obviously 2 years before, so this was just the start of that. But I see it a little ham-fisted now. So it's just a tiny thing. It really isn't that big a deal. At least they handle it very well. And with every season only being about 10 episodes, it's not too bad.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I, I recommend it. As always, I recommend all of Strange New Worlds. It's a good series. So
All right.
oh righty. Yeah, easy to watch. Next week we are taking a trip back in time. We are going either to 1985 and or 1955,
Yes.
correct? We are going to the 1985 Summer Classic, who this year is its 40th 40th birthday for Back to the Future, the original movie. Uh this is a classic. Uh
Heavy.
we're gonna have our friend Heavy, yeah. We're gonna have our friend Kaylee on, and we might have an appearance from my daughter. Finally, my oldest daughter has never watched Back to the Future, and she said she'd be willing to come on. So I'm trying to get her to watch it this week.
Oh
We'll
boy.
see what happens. But yeah, get a young person's perspective. And what's really funny to me about this is that the age is off slightly, but let's say Marty's 17. Let's say Marty's 17 and his parents are in their 40s somewhere ish. My daughter is 17 and I am in my 40s.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what her thought is. And if she's ever wondered, hey, what was my dad like in high school? Here's a hint. I was probably George. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yes,
Yeah.
Back to the Future. But the week after, we are going to the original series.
Mm.
We are going to TOS. I'm looking forward to that one.
All
All right.
right.
Wheel of Morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the episode we should burn. All right.
Let's hope not.
I hope not. I don't know. I don't recognize this one. Season 2, Episode 7, Cat's Paw.
This one. Oh boy.
I've never seen this one. Oh, I
Oh
said
boy.
never see. Is this an awful one?
Uh, it's
And
interesting to say the least.
looking at it, it looks like it's a Halloween episode, sort of.
Yes, so we'll be doing Halloween in August, apparently.
The randomizer, it is what it is. I love this. All right. Brennan, where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me on Blue Sky at renmar.bluesky.social. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple at Page Turners They Were Not.
And you can catch me on Twitch and Twitter at Ingle1984. But as always, we end every episode. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.